Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of how to make the killers work in 2v8. Now if you came from the first part, first of all I just want to say I appreciate you for taking the time and watching both videos. That is greatly appreciated and any support would be also really helpful. If you're new here and you have not watched part 1, I would definitely recommend doing so, as in that has the first half of the killers that I did not include in this video. If you want to go ahead and see those changes, I'll also link part 1 in this video as well, at the end and right here. Right. Killer idea! Pyramid Head! Daddy! Wait, no, cut that out. Pyramid Head now has an increased range for his power. Torment can be removed with the normal cages and his cages. While a survivor is in his cage, they are sacrificed slightly faster by 20%. Torment shows the killer instinct to both killers and isn't exclusive to just him. Survivors hit through an object, excluding pallets, scream and reveal their auras for 3 seconds. Within 16 meters of the other killer, gain a faster charge speed of your power and grant a slight speed boost to the other killer after Pyramid Head uses his power, whether he hits or misses.
What's wrong again?
Killer idea! Blight, or I like to call him Bing Bong, increases the charges of Blight rushes by 2. Move base speed is now decreased to 4.2 meters. Breaking pallets are slightly faster while rushing. Kicking a generator exposes one survivor within a 12-meter range and reveals their aura for 5 seconds to both killers. While within 24 meters of the other killer, shares a portion of the move speed bonus while rushing. Killer idea! The Twins. Victor is now 5% faster with his base move speed. Victor charges his pounce 10% faster. Killer Instinct is shared between both killers and increases Victor's reveal range by 12 meters. Downs by Victor cause him to be crushed after 6 seconds of switching to Charlotte, while Dormant Victor reveals the range is now capped to 20 meters. Grunts from Victor are now slightly louder, and survivors who crush Victor while he's in his dormant state scream and reveal their aura for 6 seconds. While the other killer is within 12 meters of either of the twins, they now gain the undetectable status effect and hide their red stain for 6 seconds. Killer idea! Trickster. The Trickster now has 2 more bars added to the maximum when it comes to injuring a survivor. He now gains 20 more blades. His throwing speed is now decreased by 10%. Blades can pierce survivors and fill the second survivor's bars 50% less. Blades can bounce while the Trickster is within 6 meters of any survivor. Reload speed is increased by 20%. And while within 16 meters of the other killer, gain the ability to have blades bounce no matter where the survivors are, and while increasing both killers' move speeds by 2%. Killer idea! Nemesis. The zombie limit for the amount of zombies that can now roam around the map is now 1. But the base move speed is increased by 50% and 150% for 20 seconds when a generator
Clever
pops.
little sneak.
Nemesis gains 100% more contamination with zombie kills, whether it be destroyed with his tentacle or his basic attack. The respawn timer is now set to 20. The Nemesis gains 15% less contamination from survivors when hit with the tentacle. When the exit gates are powered, all exit gates now spawn 1 zombie. 2 of them are real and can contaminate and deal contact damage, and 1 of them is a decoy that deals no contact damage but can still contaminate. While within 12 meters of the other killer or a zombie, the killers now gain a 5-second undetectable status effect until they leave that radius. When a zombie is destroyed by the other killer, the respawn time is now set to 10 seconds, and the amount of contamination Nemesis receives is now 50%. Killer idea! Cenobite. When the box opened, I came. The possessed chain now deals damage to survivors and inflicts the deep wound status effect on any injured survivor hit with the possessed chain. The possessed chain has a cooldown increase by 20%, and chain hunts and the
She's a
possessed
runner,
chain
she's a
now
track
only
star.
summon 2 chains. The turn radius for the possessed chain is now increased by 20%.
Psych!
Laminin configuration is 10% slower to solve. When a chain hunt is active, the chains that are summoned are 25% slower when a survivor is doing a conspicuous action. Both killers gain the ability to teleport to the box, and if the other killer, other than Cenobite, consumes the box, all auras of survivors are revealed for 8 seconds. Both killers gain a speed boost, but disables their powers for 15 seconds, and blocks one random generator that is actively being worked on for 5 seconds. The aura of this generator is revealed to both killers, and while within 24 meters of each other, both killers gain a 30% faster power charge for 5 seconds with a cooldown of 15 seconds.
I'm a bird.
Killer idea! Artist. The artist can now summon 4 dire crows, and the hit range is increased by 5% for these dire crows. Both killers gain the ability to see the auras of dire crows while within 24 meters of the crow. When a map crow is disturbed, shows either killer within a 12-meter radius the aura of that survivor that disturbed that crow for 3 seconds with an independent cooldown of 10 seconds per killer. Dire crow's flight speed is increased by 10%. Dire crows now can spread between survivors who are standing within 8 meters of each other.
Psych!
When within 20 meters of each other, the killers both gain Killer Instinct every 7 seconds when a survivor is within 16 meters. Cages within the 20 meters now cause a generator of the highest progress to lose 5% of its progress with a maximum of 15% on the same generator. Killer idea! Onryo or Sadako. There are now 4 more TVs in the trial, but there is now 2 more condemned bars that are required for survivors to be maxed out. When the other killer is within 12 meters of a TV, that TV now turns on 15% faster, which can only be triggered once within 20 seconds, and the entity blocks that TV for 4 seconds after it turns on.
Nope.
Both killers gain the undetectable status effect when the Onryo is cloaked within 20 meters, also making the Onryo leaving invisibility charge 10% faster. Survivors share 1 more condemned when healing another survivor with a max of 1 per survivor. Once a survivor is fully condemned, both killers see the Killer Instinct and gain the ability to mori that survivor. Killer idea! The Dredge. The Dredge's Nightfall now charges when either killer gains a hit on a survivor. Nightfall's darkness is reduced by 30% and has a 10-meter larger field of view, and this applies for both killers and survivors. Dredge's Nightfall charges 20% faster when using his teleport ability. Nightfall's charge is reduced by 25% when gained from hitting a survivor. While in Nightfall, auras of lockers interacted within 10 seconds, whether they be had entered, exited, or locked, are highlighted in a red aura for both killers. While in Nightfall, grants the other killer aura reading of all locked lockers with a yellow aura. When a gen pops, breaks 1 lock on a locker within 20 meters of that generator. Within 24 meters of each other, both killers gain a 15% haste for 5 seconds after breaking any lock on a locker.
Nope.
Killer idea! The Mastermind, or otherwise known as Wesker, adds 3 more spray cases into the trial. Dashing hinders survivors within 12 meters, whether he hits or misses. Hitting another survivor with a thrown or slammed survivor transfers 50% of their max infection from the main survivor.
Psych!
Survivors interacting with a case scream and reveal their aura for 2 seconds. Cases open 5% slower. Within 24 meters of a successful throw or slam, the other killer gains a 30% faster vault for 20 seconds with a cooldown of 40 seconds. And when exit gates are powered, all injured survivors become broken for 80 seconds. Killer idea! The night! All summon nights durations are 15% shorter relative to the current timing values. The Carnifex is 3% slower while in an active hunt. Assassin runs 5% faster with 5 seconds added onto the timer on an active chase. Jailer's detection range is increased by 8 meters, and when patrolling near a generator within 10 meters gains a 2% haste. The casting of any knight is reduced by 10%. Any active player, including, for example, Victor, who enters within 12 meters of an active knight, instantly removes the knight from an active chase. When within 16 meters of a knight casting, the other killer gains faster damaging speed for 10 seconds. Killer idea! Get Skull Merchant! Skull Merchant now has 4 more drones, but reduces the range by 15%. Reduces the max number of actions required to disable a drone by 2, and drones that are disabled recharge 15% faster. Any killer entering an active drone's range grant them undetectable, which lasts 3 seconds after leaving the range. When both killers are within 24 meters and enter a drone's range, undetectable is increased to 10 seconds after leaving the range of the drone or each other. Killer idea! Singularity. The pods that the Singularity can place is increased by 4. The pods can no longer be placed within 12 meters of an exit gate. When teleporting to a survivor, see auras of all undropped pallets. Direct hits on slipstream survivors give a 2% haste for 5 seconds. And when a survivor transfers a pod to any survivor within 12 meters of the transfer, they become hindered by 4% for 5 seconds. Kicking a generator disables any pod within a 10-meter range for 4 seconds. While within 20 meters of each other or a slipstream survivor, both killers gain a 2% haste for 4 seconds after leaving this radius. Killer idea! The Xenomorph. Tunnels that the Xenomorph can use are now traversed 10% faster, and while traversing, reveals all auras of turrets to both killers for 3 seconds after exiting. A generator popping shows the nearest 2 turrets' auras for 5 seconds. The crawl ability now has a longer cooldown by 30%, and missing any attack, whether it be within the ability or out of the ability, now recover 5% slower, while successful hits recover 5% faster. While within 24 meters of each other, both killers gain a 10% increase lunge. Killer idea! The Good Guy Dolls, or as we all know them as Chucky and Tiffany. Heidi Ho now emits a 64-meter terror radius. All illusionary footfall auras can be seen between both killers within a 24-meter range. Pallets scampered under break after 20 seconds. Vaults in Heidi Ho add 5% of the charge back with a maximum of 10%. Successfully hitting a survivor in Heidi Ho adds 10% of its charge back with a maximum of 20%. Heidi Ho dashes / vaults or scampers do not apply. Turn rate is increased by 10% when within 24 meters of the other killer. And all illusionary footfalls that survivors look at cause the aura to turn red and start actively pursuing that survivor. The aura does not change for the survivor's perspective. Killer idea! The unknown. Have you seen my dog? Add 2 more husk spawns. The time between teleports is reduced by 10%. The UVX radius is increased by 15%. UVX direct hits while airborne increases the hindered effect by 4%. And hits with the UVX on a UVX survivor who is looking at the unknown gain the deep wound status effect. While staring at the other killer, UVX decays 75% slower. But when staring at both killers at the same time, the decay is now 10% faster than the base speed. When both killers are within 24 meters of a husk, the husk now follows a survivor's movement, no matter of its position, or if it's being looked at, or if it has a clear line of sight, and the aura of that husk is now revealed in yellow. Killer idea! The Lich, or Vecna. When entering a trial, adds 3 more magic boxes, which are as follows: 1 Mimic, 1 more D20 box, and 1 more D1 to 19, which makes 3 possible D20 items available, 2 eyes and 1 hand, or vice versa.
He doesn't know. He knows.
Mage Hand blocks pallets for 6 seconds instead of 4. Flight of the Damned now has a tighter spread and adds 1 more skeleton. Dispelling Spear now reveals auras of all survivors for 2 seconds, and flying over a vault blocks it for 5 seconds, and you see the auras of any survivor within 6 meters.
He just stepped in his own.
All lockers used by the D20 items are highlighted in yellow for 5 seconds, and within 24 meters of each other, any damage on survivors with a magic item give killers both a 3% haste. Now, I just want to say I would have included the Dark Lord or Dracula, but he isn't released just yet, and I haven't played enough or even gotten used to him, therefore I won't try to include him, especially because at the time he is still within the PTB. Maybe in the near future I will include him once the community has gotten used to him and there is more understanding and experience. But, of course, that comes in time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video of my thoughts and how to implement all of the killers into 2v8. If you disagree or even have your own thoughts, feel free to go ahead and share them below. And if you enjoyed and would like to see more of my content, like, share, and subscribe for more. Have a good day or night, wherever you are, and whenever you may be watching this. Thank you for your time. Until we rise again.